This is PODCASTNV. Tonight we have a special guest. He is a U.S. Army veteran with over 20 years of experience with several National Guard units. He is now the founder and director of Vets Retreat Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff Marriott. Thank you very much for joining us, Jeff.
Welcome to the show.
You're welcome. Hi, Tim.
Hey, how's it going?
Also, we have on the phone Doug Newman. He is the outreach coordinator for Vets Retreat Virginia. So welcome to the show, Doug.
Thank you much. Hello, everybody.
Howdy, howdy.
This is our first time using the telephone for an interview. This is kind of cool. I feel like I'm on a real radio station and I'm talking to a caller. Caller
Right?
number 5.
All I thought of for some reason was Jurassic Park and someone calling in over the radio. And we're in the command station.
I'm not surprised.
Hey, I appreciate you guys allowing the call in because that's a pretty hefty drive and we're supposed to get heavy weather in either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
Yeah, everybody's feeling it in different regions. Actually, I was talking to a couple guys last night at this Monday night thing that we do, and they were showing me pictures of their house back in New York and what they have to go back to.
Oy.
And they have icicles like 6 feet long hanging off the side of their house.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
I don't envy you.
Yeah, right?
No, thank you.
Better safe than sorry. We're glad that you could join us.
For
Yeah.
sure. So
thank you.
I guess we'll get started at the beginning. We know Jeff from being in a band. He comes out and sees us often. We've had the opportunity to play for him and for Vets Retreat before. So it's a pretty good partnership that we have with you, Jeff. So we're happy to start spending some time here. So where do you come from? Where do you grow up? You grew up in Pennsylvania, right?
That's right.
Yeah. What part of Pennsylvania are you from?
Northeastern, Wilkes-Barre and Scranton area.
Oh, okay. So you're up there by the office.
Yes.
And I actually grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up in the Philadelphia area, Westchester, that part.
So you knew the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Mhm.
and you knew Michael Scott.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Look at you two.
It's a small world, but not that small.
Well, it is Pennsylvania, right? Wait, come on.
So what drew you to the military? Was there a calling, or how did you end up there?
It was a calling. It was getting oriented to the mission. As a young 17-year-old, I was invited to tour the National Guard unit locally. I met some of the guys. I found out what they were working on,
Mhm.
some of the benefits of service, some of the the history, the area, the state mission the National Guard always supports. I thought it was really interesting to get involved in, get some good training,
Mhm.
get some good benefits, use that to develop a career, just line everything up professionally, and it was a good way to do so.
Yeah,
And it was ever since.
that's awesome.
Was there ever another option other than doing that? Like, were you into sports? Were you into anything else? Like, or criminal justice, or like, was there any other option?
He loved Batman.
Yeah. Well, aside from that, right?
I think there were always options. I chose what was best for me.
Mhm.
I was a martial artist in high school,
No way.
so I give that a lot of credit. My military background, getting ready for that in martial arts, the training and the physical fitness, the discipline.
How far did you go?
I made it to black belt.
Nice,
Wow.
dude. That's wild.
That's pretty cool.
I studied for almost 8 years.
Hmm.
My high school sport. I wasn't involved with baseball, football, basketball, track, any of the traditional things.
Mhm.
And I was involved with my martial arts outside of high school.
Very cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Can you show us some moves since we have all the video cameras set up?
And that was a long time ago. I could defend myself if I had to, but I'm sure I've lost some skills over the years. I wouldn't be surprised.
So when did you retire from the military?
2017.
Okay. So actually not too long ago. 8 years ago?
It's getting to be a while now.
Yeah.
2017 is
true.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Gotta get out of here.
I know.
Just like the
It's-
90s was 10 years ago.
Right. Exactly. So what was the brainchild for Vets Retreat of Virginia?
It was a lot of things. It was my business background for college, my military background. I wanted to be a resource for those who have served and their families. And it wasn't to take away from any existing resources or be a competitor to. I wanted to start an organization to complement and support and help, and be one more organization to support those who have served and their family. A lot of people say that not enough is done, and I've always believed that we need to get the service community to use our existing benefits, our existing programs. So much more is possible than what's currently being utilized. And I'm even seeing that with my organization, with our organization the last couple of years. As we put services out, we consider ourselves on duty 24 hours a day. That's more than a tagline for us. We're serious about that. If someone calls us at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, guess what? We're going to be up and dealing with it. People, we're just trying to get that known that that's a service we offer. Because when I was first starting helping veterans, I would call one of the benefits or one of the resource centers, and they would get a recording, call back business hours during the week, and that wasn't good enough. I didn't accept that. I said, they shouldn't have to wait till business hours on a weekday to help somebody. When they need help, they need help.
Yeah.
Now, how Doug, right on the line?
Yeah.
How do you tie into? How did you get pulled into Vets Retreat?
I got an email from Virginia veterans, and they were basically advertising a new avenue of approach that the governor signed in, and it had been active for a couple of months. And it was basically for veteran resources. I was curious, so I logged in, and they had volunteer opportunities. So Vets Retreat sounded intriguing. I sent my contact information, got in touch with Jeff. We sort of hit it off, and I worked as an outreach coordinator in Fauquier County, Virginia for New Baltimore Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company. So I fell into place there, and I'm just taking what I learned from that role, and I'm trying to help develop and present Vets Retreat Virginia, at least here in Southeast Virginia, and help Jeff in Northern Virginia.
Nice. Now, did you get a cool Jeep Wrangler as well, or does that come with working with the team?
One day.
One day, maybe.
We have one company flag vehicle currently with plans in the future to expand out, but we got one.
It's pretty decked out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
So as Doug mentioned, we recently became part of the Virginia Veterans Network through the state. It's been a really good source of outreach for us to make new connections.
Yeah.
We've actually started getting more referrals through the Virginia Veterans Network than we have directly ourselves. So, I mean, don't know why that's the case, but that's what it is, and we're working with it. We're going forward with it. So we get referrals through the Virginia Department of Veteran Services, Virginia Veterans Network. That's we're a partner provider, and we're responding to the community through there as well. So if they come through that network or through us directly, it doesn't matter as long as we get connected.
Yeah.
So,
What is the best way to get in touch with you guys for the services that you offer?
we have email. We have our hotline, operate 24 hours a day. I can give you the number. I can give you all the information, whichever format you'd like. The best phone number for us is 1-888-906-4593. Our website is vetsretreatvirginia.org. That's a one-stop shop for us. Has our social media. It has our podcast links. It has our resource directory. It has our calendar of events of where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing. We have lots of information on there, the past, present, and future, lots of pictures. Some of the events we've done, including ours that we've done down at Fredericksburg, the Nats Park down there. So that's a one-stop shop for us, the past, present, and future, how to get involved as a volunteer, how to get involved as a sponsor, how to get involved as a client or as a partner.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah. So what exactly, if I was a veteran and I was coming to you, what type of services would I be coming to you for?
The main service we offer is community support, which is pretty much getting together just like we are now, just listening, just talking. Sometimes we form small groups. Sometimes we'll form, one-on-one client assistance. It can just be for information, for support, friendship. If someone's going through a hard time from challenges in their service, we reassure them that they don't have to go through those challenges by themselves, whether they are depressed, whether they are lonely, whether they are going through PTSD or substance abuse or thinking about hurting themselves. The whole spectrum of challenges that service members and first responders deal with, we want to be a resource for them. And if something's more urgent or more specialized, we are networked with a private practice out of Ashland, Virginia. We will refer and pay for services to get professional help.
Wow.
If it's more urgent or more specialized.
Okay. That's great.
That's cool.
That's a key component of our program. It's not very well known. It's not very well utilized, but it's available as we speak. Just get in touch with us and we'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah, that's a great way to get going.
Thank you.
So you all have your own podcast?
It's a fledgling podcast.
Okay.
It's not quite nearly as cool as yours.
Oh, wow.
You guys
Flatter
just,
us.
you just have to add tequila.
I was grasping for a compliment for ours. That's really what I was
Typical
doing.
Tim.
Yeah, I know, right?
We picked up some podcast equipment, but it is not nearly as advanced as your setup. So
Okay.
we're in the game, but you know,
We used to be at a kitchen table, so we've grown up to a couch now, so it's all
see.
good.
I mean, technically, we used to do this without microphones and cameras or any of that
Pretty
stuff.
much. Pretty much. So how did you first hear about Radio Envy?
that's a great story, actually. So I say that we're always on duty, but I had actually taken a night off. It was kind of counterintuitive, but I had just gone out because I really enjoy craft beer. This is something I enjoy. It's something I've always really kind of been interested in. The amazing things they can do with craft beer. So I was out at a brewery, out at Craftworks, and I just happened to listen and hear you guys at a show. I didn't know you guys. I didn't know you would be there. I wasn't following their schedule, or just happened to be there sampling because they have over, I think it's 60 taps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Bob Ross calls those happy accidents.
So when you like craft beer and you want to go out for a flight, that's a perfect place to go. And
Yeah.
I just took a listen, looked at you guys, and you guys are friendly and cool, and came over and shook your hands. And I like to say I wasn't a talent scout, but I started putting two and two together. Hey, I work on events
Yeah.
for the military community.
Yeah.
You guys obviously do events.
Mhm.
I was impressed with your quality, professionalism. That really enjoyed your show. And I had gone to a couple other shows, and then we had talked about the possibility and potential of doing future events. And
Mhm.
you told me about some of the other charities that you support. And I said, well, let's work with this and
Yeah.
see where it goes.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have a couple different partners in the veterans space
Yes.
where we do different events for different causes, and it's nice that we can give back. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much appreciated too, especially when you're new and up and coming. That's when the support really helps the most.
Yeah.
I mean, once you're fully established and fully running, you have more resources. So you appreciate it, but I'm sure you appreciate it more when you're just trying to get your first solid couple years and
Mhm.
your first real substantial support and traction and positive outcomes for the client.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So getting back to Vets Retreat, so I know a lot of times you want to hear the good news story. So, without getting too much into detail, can you give us, or Doug, can you give us, some of your good news stories where, you actually, you made that positive impact on somebody's life?
So a couple times our team, we've given emergency gift cards to keep our clients off the street. They were homeless or hungry. We've really been there for them. We've gone out and hand delivered gift cards for our clients. Something that we really believe in because sometimes they have no other options, no friends, no family. They're down on their luck. We've literally taken people out of the weather
Mhm.
in some cases. We've talked others down from potentially hurting themselves for suicide. So we've gotten clients set up for counseling. We're trying to expand that program. We really try to either directly provide services ourselves or know somebody who can. Because I say that no one can provide everything for everybody at all times and all places. That's why we're forming the network, because if something is more urgent or more specialized or outside of my area, I can plug them into the right resource that can respond.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really awesome stuff.
Now we're just trying to scale it because we've been around 5 years now. We know our programs work. They just need greater awareness and greater support to be scalable and sustainable.
Okay.
What made you decide to settle in Virginia and call it Vets Retreat Virginia?
Well, I came to Virginia because of my work with Homeland Security. That's what brought me here. And I liked it here enough to call this my home. And I retired from the military here. I moved around in my military career throughout my career, but I really settled in Virginia as my likely permanent home. So without plans to really, move anywhere else in the country, pretty much settle down here. My work for the government continues, and I was able to move forward on these plans almost 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, Vets Retreat Pennsylvania wouldn't have been as cool.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it. Right?
No.
Well, there's a funny story about that because a lot of people ask me, will I ever, well, not franchise, but expand
Right,
out?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
well, I want to build the headquarters first,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then we can look at other states. You know,
Yeah.
we have to get our long-term goal is to open a long-term 24-hour facility where we can dedicate our services anytime. And that brings our concept full circle. You know, everything we do, bring it to one place so we can bring anybody who needs help or just wants to hang out, wants to get together and enjoy a day. It's
Yeah.
not all about the doom and gloom of mental health and, you know, the challenges. It's about being community, being active, being well. You know, we want to run a gym, a game room, you know, so many different ideas, hikes and camps on site once we can build or buy our property.
Okay.
That's where our retreat concept comes in.
Sure. Would you do that, do you think, around here in Loudoun County, or would you venture a little bit further out? Or
I'm looking between Northern to Central Virginia as our target area. That's another thing that kind of happens internally is where are we going to establish our operation? But it depends on so many factors. The market depends on our support, depends on so many things. And we've kind of been looking at moving more towards the central part of the state. So anybody from Virginia, the Four Corners, can get to us
Mhm.
easier than, say, being up here or being on any one side of the state where it's a little bit harder for some and maybe easier for others.
Sure.
So we won't be centrally located, but exactly where in the map, it's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I gotta go back to the Jeep Wrangler.
Sure.
All right.
So on top of wrapping it, do you have any cool lights? Like when you're on a mission, you know, you just start blowing through stoplights, you just hit the sirens and you're on your way.
No lights and sirens. I
Okay.
do have ground lights.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
That's
have, I don't
cool.
have lights or sirens. I keep it legal.
Yeah.
It's not a fully fledged emergency vehicle, but
Right.
Yeah.
good question though. I like
I
that.
was just thinking like Ghostbusters, like we gotta get out of here.
The Jeep has been amazing for us. We get it in parades, car shows. It's always nice to stage it
Mm-hmm.
at stadiums and such, wherever we can get eyes on it.
Yeah.
It starts conversations. People will take a picture of it and tag me on social media, just driving down the road. So I think it's paid for itself as far as attention.
Yeah.
This guy just cut me off.
Don't like my driving call. What So, as far as you and your military career, if you don't mind, going to switch gears to that a little bit. You served in Iraq, right?
Yes.
And did you go to Afghanistan or?
I did not go to Afghanistan, but I was involved with a training for a
Okay.
unit that went over to Afghanistan.
Yeah. And is that one of the things that your organization helps with? Is like if people have seen some crazy shit and they're like, "Oh man, I can't deal with this. I need some support." They can call your organization,
Correct.
and then you with the one partner you mentioned earlier, they can help, or they can definitely refer them to get help in the really immediate future, in the immediate tense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most people, I believe that most people don't need or don't want, you know, a medical professional.
Right.
That's at the highest, you know, emergency case.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people just want friendship,
Yeah.
and someone to listen to and talk to. And they have an issue where they want to talk to people that have known and seen and done similar things. No one's done exactly the same things, but there's a community of veterans, and I'm hoping to bring the first responders in too, because they're dealing with a lot of the challenges for all people, humans
Yeah.
involved with service.
Mhm.
Challenges are similar, different but similar.
Hmm.
Can we get your take on that, Doug?
In my humble opinion, both vets and first responders, including active duty, all are cut from the same cloth.
Mhm.
They, in most instances, have a high strive to either serve their community or just serve the nation in whatever capacity they can. First responders, it's more about community and their local area. And for the military, National Guard and the Reserve, it's really about the nation or the state. So they're basically all the same thing. I would say the really one big thing that sets first responders apart is a lot of them have type A personalities, and you don't really see the type A personality come out in the military until you get into the special operations portions of the military.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're all from the same cloth.
Now, do you get both female and males to kind of call in to ask for support?
Yes, we haven't had too many requests for female to female or male to male. Um, that's something that would be a little bit of a challenge
Yeah.
because our staff is male currently.
Mm-hmm.
But that, if that's something that's we got the request for, we would probably refer that out. So if a female we prefers to speak to a female,
Yeah.
that's not something we can support directly. But that's where the network always
Yeah.
comes up. If it's something we can't handle for whatever reason, if it's not a good, interpersonal, you know, bond, or if it's
Right.
some other reason, maybe they like to talk to certain, personnel from certain backgrounds or certain branches or something.
Yeah.
That hasn't really happened.
Mhm.
But if it's something that we can't handle, if we can't meet the request, we want to make sure we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
so far, it's been no conflict between male to male or female.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Right.
But
It's all about comfort and trust. So however we accomplish that, that's our goal.
So what's kind of the next steps? I know you talked about kind of building the retreat and stuff, but I mean the biggest thing is awareness and getting the information out there.
Yes.
And I know that we played an event, down in Nats Park
Mhm.
or Fred Nats Park. Sorry.
Right. Yep.
So are you planning other events like that? Are there other things that you kind of envision on the horizon to kind of continue to grow the awareness?
Definitely continuing the awareness. Really happy to have Doug on board with us with his outreach experience. That's what his role is with us.
Mhm.
We want to do more of everything. More services, more events, more activities. We have to be careful with our, our scope or our scale, because the Fred Nats event was a little bit too big for us too soon. We
Sure.
kind of bit off more than we can chew a little bit as far as making it viable from the business standpoint. We didn't have the awareness, we didn't have the participation, didn't have the engagement to make it an overall successful event. It was an awesome event. I loved it. It was really, really fun,
Mhm.
but it did not really help us to the degree we hoped it would. Looking back, 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try and do maybe smaller scale things, maybe get more of an organic group that wants to come out with us whenever we go, and then hopefully go to a medium scale, hopefully eventually to a large scale where our name gets out there, our mission gets out there, and when we put something up, it's just automatically, of greater interest than date.
Okay.
I imagine you and Doug are doing a lot of this yourselves. Have you thought about maybe engaging with or hiring an events coordinator or someone to help you get your foot into some of these other places that you might be having trouble? Because I know from the music perspective,
Yeah.
there are a lot of venues that we can get into, but there are a lot of venues that we can't because they specifically work with an agent or a manager, or they require that type of relationship.
The biggest challenge for us is most people who want to help us want to be hired.
Mm.
That's our biggest challenge. I'm not hired myself. Doug's not a paid employee. We are truly grassroots volunteers. So we really have to be mindful of our budget so we can get more sustainability and growth going forward. So I would love to hire an events coordinator to answer your question, but I have to ask for a volunteer for the time being because we're all volunteers.
Mm.
And we're trying to keep our limited donations to supporting our programs for the time being.
Yeah.
We are supporting our operational programs while at the same time trying to grow. It's very hard for us to do both. We almost have to choose one or the other, or it's focusing on current programs or focusing on the retreat. And trying to manage both has been a really, really difficult challenge for us the last couple of years. We're not giving up on it. Still believe it's possible.
Right.
It's just a very, very challenging endeavor to support both our programs and our future plans currently.
Yeah.
You must not have very much free time.
I know. I was just thinking that. That was one of my questions is like, what are you doing when you're not supporting this or doing your day
Right?
job?
Yeah.
That might have been what I was doing when I came out to Craftworks, just taking even off and just
Sampling some beers.
sampling some beers and listening to some good music.
Well,
and-
then the question is, have you done this with other bands?
Oh no! Are you cheating on us?
Right?
Jeff?
Come on. Now I'm feeling that sinking feeling.
No. Well, you would be glad to know that most of the musicians I follow were the groups that played with us in Fredericksburg.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So that would be Maddie Davis.
Yeah.
That would be Brooke Richards.
Yep.
I pretty much follow you guys or the network
Mhm.
Yeah.
just from really enjoying your shows.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, we know some pretty great people.
Yeah.
Do you feel better now, Brian?
A little bit. Still didn't answer my question, but that's okay.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the main services we offer are education, training, life coaching, health and wellness support. That's everything from exercise tips, being active, being healthy, being fit. Just
What's
getting
that
up.
like?
Well, it's something that
Fitness whole burger in my mouth.
right.
it's something that
Sorry.
a lot of people struggle with as they get older. They want to take it
Yeah.
easy, they want to relax,
Ooh.
and
Yep.
it can be detrimental to our health. And I'm not saying I'm a master fitness guru, but I do try to stay on my game.
You are a black belt.
Yeah, can I tell you something though?
Sure.
The other direction too doesn't always work for everybody. I mean, you may not know it by looking at me right now, but for the last 2 weeks, I haven't been able to walk right because I pulled something in my back trying to do some exercise
You sneezed.
in the gym.
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
actually, back pain plus sneezing is
Yeah.
one of the worst
That is
feelings
terrible, you're
ever. Sorry.
Very good.
Go ahead.
So we're about social and volunteer opportunities. That just means getting together, much like this. Just
Yeah.
Friends talking.
Yep.
Going over ideas, sharing
Tequila.
tequila. That too.
Yeah.
I mentioned the counseling and referral services, and we want to get into special events and special occasions. That's everything from recognizing, say, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July.
Jeff's birthday.
Right?
You know, yeah.
Well, that's something that I've tried to make as an annual event for the organization. Not because it's about me, and hopefully it's a chance to say support the organization.
Yeah.
I don't want any gifts. I don't want any money. I don't want any,
Yeah.
I don't want any material things. I want to have the organization be successful.
Yeah.
So if that brings people out for the organization, hopefully by all means, that's the point of the annual birthday.
Except for Doug. Doug needs to give you a gift.
Yeah.
So what we're
My gift is my time.
that's
There
true.
you go.
There you go.
Doug,
There you
Well
you
said.
are a gift.
Well said, my friend. You are a gift. Thank you. What were your additional questions, Ray? Rye.
Oh, me?
Ooh.
The off-topic ones? They're a little in left field. I'm known for asking odd questions.
Really?
Breaking news.
Well, I got a couple personal questions.
Okay.
Ooh.
When you do have spare time,
Mhm.
what are things that you like to do? Like, do you live in a house? Do you live in an apartment, condo? I'm just thinking house because I think you have a dog, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like, there's probably maintenance, things that you have to do.
Sure.
Yeah. What are some things that you like to do around the house?
Around my home, occasionally I play video games, but not very often.
Okay.
I'm a kind of a reformed gamer, if
Yeah.
you will, because I just started realizing how much time
Yeah.
I could
Had to
get
kick
back.
the Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I started realizing, hey, I had my time back in my 20s, but now I have some things where my time is more important. I have an organization that I'm running and committed to, and
Yeah.
I really say this often. If there's something I'm not doing, there's something I could be or should be doing.
Yeah.
Pretty much any day, any time, whether it's promotion, whether it's accounting, whether it's
Yeah. Yeah.
filing paperwork with the state or planning next events or planning
Yeah.
outreach or checking on people. There's always something to be done.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay.
I enjoy it, and that's why I commit so much effort and time to it, is to make it successful.
So what is your definition of success when it comes to Vets Retreat of Virginia?
There's a past, present, and future to that question.
Mhm.
So presently, it's about our client support. It's about the small number of people that we help and that we're on call for. If we get them the information, the support, the friendship they need, that's the definition of success. Now we're trying to scale that because we don't have a lot of clients. We have what we have. That can't be changed, really. I mean, we're trying to increase it, but at some point, it is what it is. If the phone doesn't ring, that's where we're limited to.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then long term would be our property.
Okay.
That is our central focus, is to build or buy a large lodge that we're going to run.
Mhm.
And we're going to have staffed around the clock. You want to come out anytime, and someone you serve, or someone you serve with, your family, are going to be available for you.
That's great.
And that's the definition of success for us. And then, of course, there's a longer term to that, is the legacy, carrying it on
Mhm.
to the next generation after. And that's next level.
Love it.
So when someone engages with you or you engage with them, like how frequently is there a touch point with that person? That like, oh, here's the service you needed. Thanks. If you need anything else, let us know. Have a
That's
great
good
day.
question.
Or is it, oh, we'll continue to engage with you and support you? How does
Yeah.
that work?
And how do you keep up with that?
It's
Yeah.
a very, very good question. It's a engaging question. and I can say there's no right answer for that because sometimes we'll talk to someone one time, and that's they decide they got all they needed or they wanted, or they decided it wasn't a good fit, and we won't always know because they won't always tell us. So some people say we just need the information, we got it, we're good.
Yeah.
You don't send them an email that says, "How'd we do?" Just kidding.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you recommend our services?
Right.
But then sometimes other clients where the relationship is a little bit more established, and maybe they do have a couple more, needs or a couple more concerns. So we'll give them information, we'll support them, we'll talk to them, and then we'll follow up. How you doing? We'll just send them a quick message. How you doing today? Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll help, sometimes we can't. Just depends. It's a touchy area, but it's needs based, and it's different for every person. Some people just want to know we're there, and they feel better knowing that they can call us. Not necessarily they will. That's happened a couple of times where people just say, "I feel good knowing you're there."
Yeah.
And sometimes they get some comfort from that, even if they don't have to pick up the phone or email us or contact us online.
Yeah.
So we're there. We're helping people without even really helping them in that regard. And then we have clients we check in with that are a little bit more, of a, a hard place in their lives where they want some additional one-on-one assistance, some level of professional support. So there's a full spectrum, everything from one time to they can call right now and want to talk.
Yeah, there's no one size fits all. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
So, well said.
I got to ask a really stupid question.
Uh-oh.
Okay. And I'm not saying that I would agree with the people that do this, but you've heard of the Jerky Boys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So offering a service that you offer, have you ever gotten a prank call?
No.
No. Okay. I wouldn't think so, right?
I would hope not.
Right.
That'd be really shitty.
But still, when you
shitty
put
thing to do.
yourself
Yeah.
out there
There are
to
people out
receive
there.
a phone call from anybody, your number's out there, and
Right.
it's either you or someone you know that's answering that call.
Right.
I don't know. The thought just crossed my mind. You could cut this out later.
No joke calls, and I don't mind if you leave it in or out, but I do think about that sometimes. What if I get somebody that says they need help and they
See?
don't?
Valid. Yeah.
That's something it's a concern, but it hasn't really happened. So I could receive a call, hey, I need some help, and I could go help them, and there's nobody there. So
Sure.
It could
or
happen.
it's not the situation that you were led to believe.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. It may come with the nature of what we're doing. What do you think, Doug?
I think the moment we stop taking phone calls is the moment we may face the crisis of, what's the best way to put it? We're in the hole. One, we lost a life because we didn't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Every phone call is important.
You have to take it seriously.
Even if it is that one prank call and they're calling us at 2:00 in the morning to go meet them at 7-Eleven and buy them gas.
Or asking for a Prince Albert in a can.
That too.
Yeah. You've got to take every phone call seriously. And if it's that 2 a.m. phone call, somebody asking for Prince Albert in a can, chuckle about it. Ask them if they actually need serious support. And if they don't, you hang up the phone and have a nice evening.
And tell them not to call back unless they have better jokes.
Right.
What I would see is
Well, better jokes or unless they need something
Or a
else.
serious concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see us.
When I was in the military, I had almost the same thing. One of my soldiers called me up at like 3:00 in the morning and had a really stupid joke, but he was right on the edge.
Do you remember what it was?
I don't remember the joke. It doesn't pop out to me now. But about 3 hours later, when I finally got down to the bottom of it and talking to him, I could have saved his life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you never know when a stupid comment like that could be the introduction, them blowing out their steam to something serious.
Yeah.
Not trying to break your joke down, but it has happened to me personally.
No,
Yeah, that's an interesting point that people have different ways of reaching out. Sometimes the smartasses out there, their cry for help is a joke.
humor.
Yeah,
the sarcasm.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
I could see us taking the appropriate action if there was a sustained abuse of our services. Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I do keep in the back of my mind that there's probably a legal repercussion, whether it's law enforcement or legal action of some sort if needed. But fortunately, we haven't had to deal with that.
Yeah.
They're dealing with a black belt. Don't mess around.
I know.
Right.
You should put that on the website.
Yeah. You said that you help veterans with being unhoused. Like, how prevalent of an issue is that around here?
I would say it's more than you think. I don't
Yeah.
have the research numbers as we speak,
Right.
but one of the misconceptions about this area is that everyone is well off.
Right.
There's no homeless, there's no hungry, there's no needs here. So that can be one of the reasons it's hard possibly to get traction here, because
Yeah.
everyone thinks that we're all living in mansions and we're all,
Yeah.
But it's worth researching. It's actually come up a couple times to have some numbers to cite to exactly know what we're up against.
Yeah. That's got to be a real discouraging thing for a veteran to have gone to Iraq, gone to Afghanistan, and come back, and then the circumstances are you find yourself without a house or a home, and that's got to be very difficult, man. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I think about that often myself with the very specialized work that can only be done in those types of environments. To come back, like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Very challenging.
There's not much of a market for kicking indoors or throwing hand
Oh, yeah.
grenades.
That's true.
That is very true.
Yeah.
There's a joke I like that said, if you write on your resume, I killed bad guys. It doesn't go over very well.
Yeah. Right.
Man, you could be Batman, or
Yeah.
then I guess you could throw grenades, kicking down doors. Jeff or Doug, are there any questions that you wanted to ask of us about the podcast, about the band, or anything that you thought of?
I could take one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell us about your goals and upcoming band projects for 2025. I know you have a lot of separate music interests, but coming together as Radio Envy, what are your plans for the 2025?
I'd say we're primarily, we had our 10-year anniversary in November of last year. And I think moving forward, having us focus on some bigger events, bigger opportunities. What I've found personally is, especially as a band, it's easier to kind of slide a solo artist or a duo into certain spaces. But as a band, to get paid well for what we do, to have a good turnout for what we do, when you do it too often, unless you're literally going on tour and being in a different city, every other night or every other week, it kind of takes away from the value, I guess, of making it a point to go out and see, a certain band,
Scarcity. Yeah.
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 So I think kind of stepping back away from having that availability to us as a band all the time makes the gigs or the events that we have booked moving forward more valuable. I think we're looking towards doing some bigger events, some special events, more private events. So I think that's kind of been my thought in taking us in that direction.
Did you have some fun questions you want to get to?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're doing this or that.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You sure? Well, Doug.
Now look what
This
you
is
did.
Jeff.
So Jeff, for various reasons throughout life, right? Sometimes it's not always what you know, but who you know. Are you an early person or a late person?
I'm a late person.
You are.
I'm a late person. I've been conditioned by my profession to be an early bird.
Mhm.
So my response to that question is I'm only early when I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
I can be early. I can be 4 a.m. early. I just don't prefer to be.
Yeah.
I'm much more alive and well and spry now than I am in the morning.
Yeah.
So this is how I am. So I've always been.
Well, then I have to ask,
Yeah.
Mr. Marriott,
Sure.
can you hook me up with a late checkout next time? And is there any particular reason why the ice buckets are so small? No?
In the rooms.
Oh my God. Bacon, you're killing me.
I tried to stay free at a Marriott one time, and they didn't even laugh at me. They didn't even find the joke.
Really?
Yeah.
Bums.
How many people are ahead of you in the trust fund? No. Any relation at all?
No.
No.
It's okay. He did the same thing to me with the Campbell soup, so don't worry about it.
And the same thing with me with pigs.
Pigs. Oh my God.
That was good.
Wow.
That was good.
Mm-hmm. So even by association, like you don't even get double points on your credit card, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Wow.
what a
No,
ripoff.
I've
No
never done
additional
my-
Bonvoy rewards.
Yeah, you think something.
I've never done my genealogy, my 22 and me or whatever,
Yeah.
or 23 and me. I've never done that, but no
Oh.
relation, best I can tell.
Ugh,
Yeah,
well,
you don't
that
want to.
sucks.
You don't want to give your information to the CIA anyway.
That kills like 12 of my questions.
No?
Just kidding.
They're all about your Marriott Rewards program. How come I didn't get my point to this day?
You know what you should do is come up with some Vets Retreat flyers and make sure it's got your name, Jeff Marriott, on it,
Mhm.
and just start leaving like stacks of them in the lobbies and just see if they leave them.
Yeah.
Right?
Then you'll get a bunch of calls. I didn't like my room. It was dirty when I. Sheesh.
Anyway, well, that was fun for me.
Okay.
Glad you're satisfied.
I have some more oddball questions. Not that I really got into them earlier. Where do you stand on flying cars?
Hopefully out of the way.
Hey! I was hoping one of you guys would say something.
I caught it.
I like the traditional idea of vehicles. I like vehicles that are on the road and you drive. I'm not sure about the automated robots that fly. I don't know.
I mean, we were promised flying cars in what, 2000, 2002?
Thanks a lot, Jetsons.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Elon Musk was like, wait a minute, I've got a better idea. Wait until 2025.
That's this
Ooh.
year.
So how that was the point.
Sorry.
When it comes to traveling, I mean, obviously a lot of the stuff that you do is local, but when you do travel outside of the area,
Mhm.
are you one of those road warriors, or would you, if it's like a 2-hour flight versus a 7-8 hour drive, what's your preference?
I will usually drive.
Hmm.
I don't like spending money for travel whenever I can help it. So driving is usually cheaper. It's always slower, but usually cheaper.
It
Um,
is.
Since the 12th of February, we've had a plane crash every day.
Jesus.
Has it been that frequent?
Every day.
Did you guys see the video of the one that landed, was it in Canada?
Yeah.
Upside down on
Toronto?
the beach?
Yeah.
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 Wild.
It's crazy.
Did everybody survive that?
Yeah. There was a couple of injuries, but I think generally everybody was okay.
That was like from the movie. You ever see that movie Flight with Denzel Washington?
Yes, and he was
Where
upside
he
down.
inverts it. Yeah. And they like plow through the steeple.
Yeah.
My
But he was
God.
sober, right?
Yeah, that's what he said at first. Oh.
Ooh.
At what age did you stop believing in Santa Claus? If you ever believed in him in the first place, I suppose.
I think I figured it out pretty young.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of ahead of the curve
Quit bragging.
as a kid. Like, something doesn't seem right about this.
What about you?
I still believe.
Oh no.
Still believe.
I don't know. I was probably like 9, 8 or 9. I mean, I had older siblings, so
Right.
they kind of helped to give it away.
That's what I was thinking. I'm pretty sure I broke the news to
Your brother.
my brother. Yeah.
I think I saw a mall Santa kind of stretch the beard and let it
Oh no.
stretch back. I'm like,
You're
what?
like in a cold sweat. You're like, take me home. Take me home now.
Yeah.
I never was allowed to believe in Santa Claus.
Oh,
My dad's
because it was Jesus' birthday.
my dad's theory was if we teach the kids about Santa Claus and then oops, surprise, he's not real. What are they going to do when we tell them about Jesus?
And
Dad,
the
you're
Easter
such a
Bunny
fucking spoil
and the
sport.
Tooth Fairy.
So I had the opportunity to be a liar to my kid, and
About Jesus or about the
Yeah.
Easter
No,
Bunny?
wait,
Or about,
which-
like, what are we getting
about
into?
Santa Claus.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's Santa. yeah.
And one day he was just like, "Dad, think about living a lie." I was like, "What?" He's like,
Me too, son. Me too.
"Yeah, right."
You tell me yours first.
you figured this out way too early. But he was like, "Yeah, I'm starting to believe that there's no Santa Claus and there's no Easter Bunny. My whole life has been a lie." And he was like 6 or 7 at
Oh,
this time.
poor kid.
And I was like, "Oh man, that's rough." He's the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna tell me leprechauns aren't real.
Oh God! You mean You mean I've been trying to catch air this whole time?
It's like, I have bad news for you, bud.
Bacon's like, how about a Happy Meal? Let's go.
I was laughing so like inside. I couldn't laugh out loud, but I was laughing so hard. I had tears coming out of my eyes because it was so funny.
He's like, Dad, stop crying.
So
I don't
dramatic.
mean it.
My whole life's a lie. Come on, kid. 6 whole years.
I got another one. You ready?
Sure.
Why do you think some people pronounce the H first when it comes to where, when, what, and why?
Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. Will Wheaton.
I don't think I've heard that. I don't think I've
You've never heard
I
that?
don't think so. No.
Oh,
No.
all right. Well, look it up later.
We're going to give you a homework assignment at the end of this.
Oh,
You have to ask about blue cheese or ranch.
that's you ready for this or that?
Okay,
Yeah, we
let's
can
do
do this
it.
or that.
Let's do it.
And now it's time for
We practice this, guys. I say this part. It's this or that.
This or that.
All right. First up, cook or clean? Cook. So you're like, all right, I'm done. I have dealt with that my entire life with roommates, with significant others. I feel like it's only fair, right, that one cooks, one cleans, but I've also lived alone where I've had to do both,
Yes.
and it is so much nicer to just
Take out.
yeah,
Right?
exactly, right.
100%.
And now you got DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these other options.
And in some cases, it's cheaper to do it that way.
Yeah, can be. Especially, well, when they're giving you credits, like, hey, sign up, and you get like $50 towards whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, sweet. Wiener Schnitzel or chicken fried chicken?
Fried chicken.
Yeah? Have you had a Wiener Schnitzel before? And you're just like, no, pork's not for me. Sorry, bacon.
That's all right. I'm not for everybody.
Would you rather show up to some big event in a party bus or a limo?
Well,
Limo? Yeah.
Hell
You're
yeah.
like black tie, cameras flashing. You're not like, hey, you guys want to come on? Get in the party bus?
Yeah.
No.
Get in my stretch Hummer limousine with the hot tub in the back.
So every so often I look at the car auctions, and very recently, last week, a car went up for, it was a 1996 Chevy Suburban that had been made into a stretch limo. It was absurd.
Nice. That's awesome.
So unnecessary, but it was cool.
How much?
I think it sold for like $32,000 or something.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like,
Wow.
who's buying this?
Yeah.
Like, what is it going towards?
Yeah.
I don't know. In or out
and what contact?
for you to decide.
To be determined.
In.
In? Yeah, man. You made it.
You're part of the club.
You're in.
50-50 chance, Jeff.
Well, some things you want to be in for, some things you want to be out of. So
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
sure.
Yeah.
That's
it
true.
depends.
For you, now this may, for you, is it ghouls or ghosts?
Those.
Ghosts? Why?
Easier to say.
Yeah. too many mouth movements and ghouls.
He wasn't a fan of the movie Ghouls Busters.
Yeah.
Didn't quite have the same ring to
Not
it.
really. No.
One of the questions I had, actually, you answered earlier, craft or commercial beer?
Craft.
Yeah, you said craft.
Heck yeah.
So then I switched it up. Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb?
Definitely Dr. Pepper.
Really? Why? Can you tell the difference?
I think so.
Yeah? Does one have 24 flavors?
I'll have to do a blind taste test to see if I
Yeah,
can really tell.
right?
The
There
difference.
you go.
We should have done that.
Damn it.
All right, these ones are kind of less this or that and more like would you rather, whatever. Would you rather wait in line at the DMV or wait in line at the Walmart self-checkout? Because you know when there's a line at the Walmart, like none of the other lanes are open,
Nope.
right? It's just the self-checkout.
I think the self-checkout will be shorter, at least, hopefully.
You think so?
In most cases.
You could at least, like, if you got groceries, you can kind of snack on them while you wait.
Open up this bag of popcorn.
I do that all the time if I go grocery shopping hungry.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah, when they ring it up and they're like, "Did you know this was open?" I'm like, "Yeah, I opened it."
And then they check your receipt when you leave.
Yeah. Did you see that video? Did we talk about this already?
No.
Where this woman walked out of Walmart and in the parking lot she found a receipt for like, $100 and something worth of
Oh,
groceries.
and she went back in.
She went back in and put everything in her cart that was on the receipt and walked out because she had a receipt for it.
Fucking brilliant, man.
Isn't that
I
wild?
love that.
That's great.
So terrible.
Yeah,
Fuck
nothing
the
like
system.
advertising your crime online.
Right?
Yeah, I wonder if they ever went after her. When people do stuff like that, like the girl that a couple years ago was licking or taking bites of ice cream and then putting it back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
in the height
Bluebell.
of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah,
Didn't she go to jail or something?
Yeah,
She went to court.
they gave her assault charges, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
What's wrong with people? So gross.
It's so stupid. All right, I got two more. Would you rather jump high like a kangaroo or swim fast like a shark?
Jump.
Jump. Are you much of a swimmer? Do you? No.
That's why I didn't answer swimming.
Yeah. Okay. So you
he
just want,
floats.
he wants the ups.
I could swim if I had to survive, but I definitely don't do it recreationally.
See, I'm not sure if I could swim if I had to survive. I would be flailing my arms and legs,
If
but
the waves are just crashing over you, you're like, just take me.
yeah, this rip current is.
My glasses.
The Benny Hill song in the background. And you're just, you're just waving.
This isn't funny, guys. I can't breathe.
Yeah. Bacon, that's a kiddie pool. You'll be fine.
Stand up, you idiot.
I mean, like the shallow end of the community pool.
You ever see
this
that
guy's
where
so
like
dramatic?
the dogs freak out? Some dogs freak out in the water.
Yeah.
And then others, you'll see like a picture of them where their feet just touch the bottom and their heads above the water. You ever
Yeah.
see that? All right, last one. So just to be fair, I come up with a lot of these when I've had several drinks and I'm sitting on my couch and my eyes are getting heavy and I'm like,
There we
oh,
go.
that's funny.
Disclaimer.
Would you rather fight 100 squirrel-sized horses or one horse-sized squirrel?
Fucking horse-sized squirrel, man.
Right?
Motherfucker will rip you apart.
Oh my god! Or are you just like kicking the shit out of these tiny horses?
That's right.
I think I'll take my chances one-on-one with the
Oh
squirrel-sized
man! All
I
right.
think the
Brave
ankle
man.
biters would be a little difficult.
Yeah.
And now especially since I've written that, not knowing about your martial arts background,
Oh yeah.
I would rather do a one-on-one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like throat chop.
Is that what they do?
I don't know.
I don't know. Grab him by the tail, swing him around.
Bacon Miyagi over there.
Yeah. Wax on, wax still on. That's how it goes, right?
That was all
Something
I
like
had.
that.
Okay.
That was
Awesome.
it.
So Jeff, what's coming up for Vets Treat?
Vets
Okay.
Street?
Yep, one more time. So Jeff, what's coming up next for Vets Retreat of Virginia?
We're working on a big event next month in mid-March over in
Mhm.
Alexandria. We're hosting a resource fair, happy
Okay.
hour, and live music event over there. We're really focusing on resource fairs
Mhm.
as kind of like trying to figure out what we want to specialize in, what we can really be known for. And
Yeah.
we're trying different things because we're still feeling it out. What's of interest, what's of demand, what's of the engagement piece. So we're trying to figure out what we want to be known for while we're working to build or buy our property. So we're leaning into the resource fairs.
Mhm.
That's community building, that's networking, that's giving information for other types of resources. That's something we don't really do ourselves.
Okay.
So we have benefits organizations coming. We have a couple. There's a charity that handles service dogs coming out. There's a charity that runs a horse farm coming as well. So there's different organizations that work on different aspects or different benefits and service.
Okay.
That's a big event for March. We're piloting office hours down in Spotsylvania.
Mhm.
The American Legion down there was kind enough to share an office space with us, knowing that we work out of a home office currently.
Nice.
Okay.
So we're hopefully going to pilot some office hours, another chance to get together, to connect,
Yeah.
support, refer, get involved at some degree, some level. That's a big project for us in Spotsylvania. Going into the early summer, we're going to be working with Face of America. They're working on a bicycle ride
Okay.
for the veteran community to ride from the Pentagon up to the Gettysburg battlefields.
Ooh, that's a hike.
So we're going to be working on some
bike, yeah.
capacity as volunteers to help that organization with that project. They've been doing it for many, many years. So a good opportunity for volunteering, a good opportunity for exposure, and get our name out there.
Yep.
Probably get the Jeep involved in some degree, whether it's
Nice.
displayed or traveling, taking cargo, something, whatever. However
Yeah.
they can plug us in, we're still determining that, but work in progress.
Have you thought about getting the spinner wheels? That could be a cool ad. Those are legal.
Right?
There you go.
Wanna
Alright.
get
Go ahead, Jeff.
want to get some wheels or some rims probably as a project next.
There you go.
There you go.
'Cause I have the basic factory rims, which are okay, but
Yeah.
nothing special.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jeff, remind our audience how they can get a hold of Vets Retreat of Virginia and where's the website to check out all the events.
Sure. The website is, again, a one-stop shop for us. If you get our website, you get everything. So it's www.vetsretreatvirginia.org. If you have nothing else, have that, because that'll plug you into everything else. That's all of our social media.
Mhm.
That's all of our, that's our email, the phone number. The phone number is 1-888-906-4593. Email is info@vetsretreatvirginia.org. We are active on Facebook, Instagram, X, and what's the other one? LinkedIn.
Nice.
Okay.
So we're active on there, just doing more of what we do, more events, more activities, more promotion, more connection.
Great. Well, Jeff, I speak for all of us. Thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely.
It's such a great cause. If you haven't heard of it yet, please go and check it out. Check out the website. Go to some of their events. They're really great. Sometimes you see a really cool band like us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for coming in. Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
show.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Take us
man.
home.
This is Podcast NV.